Once more into the land of the living, we return. And here is Morne Tunnel. Let's see, 4... five, 6, 7. 8 if you include the Sight of Grace. Or 9 otherwise if you include those. So, I think that is correct. It is saying 9 equals divinity, and therefore the lights, the flames, are shining upon this tunnel. It also does well to link up with the Firebird motif that's here on the lever. So, this is a sacred place relating to the sun. Let's see what we'll find inside. 1 effigy of a martyr. 3 3 flickering flames going here relating to lithium, therefore stone. Stone magic is, well, I don't know that we'll be looking for magic, but stone is definitely something that is mined here. 5 leads to intelligence or completion. Then you have 3 more. So it's a struggle. Crucible. And the misbegotten are forced here into the mines. Most unfortunate for them. Now, let's see. Six. From this angle, because that box is conspicuously blocking this one, we can see 1, 2, 3. That is not a flame, so that doesn't count. 4. 5, 6. 6 is carbon, therefore humanity. They wish me to see the humanity in these struggling people. And once again, crucible associations. And with 6 and 8 combined, we get the moon. The full moon is also associated with magic, I should add. Oh dear. That was deeply unfortunate. But such is the way of things. One little mistake because you forget that you've got to jump, or you mess up on the jump more accurately, you can lose your life. So, let's see. Old Fang. So, these creatures. A rarely seen specimen of a beast fang. Material used for crafting items. These are associated with beasts. Carnivorous beasts. Despite the fact that these guys have blocky teeth. They have old fangs. One might say vestigial, almost. These multiple overlapping fangs grow from a singular root. Perhaps they are a vestige of the primordial crucible. So, crucible associations indeed. But what is this crucible? I have an inkling of it, but I don't think we've actually had evidence of this so far. Of course, we can speak of what a crucible is in terms of something which melts things down and causes them to liquefy, melding together just a little bit. But I'm not sure that we've had any evidence other than that of a primordial crucible. At the same time, since we have found these misbegotten, and we can note that they have human and animalistic traits, the term crucible begins to take on a meaning that should be at least somewhat obvious. That is to say, vestiges of the crucible seem to be related to some sort of intermingling of traits within individuals, animal and human. Five more yet. Again we see intelligence being represented. And humanity with that one there. Despite the fact that these misbegotten and these minors may look a little bit different, they are human all the same. And they experience death the same as all of us. We ought to keep this in mind and treat them with proper dignity. And yet, they are enslaved, given a rather unfortunate lot in life here. Death, perfection, intelligence, and then another 4, divinity. The hidden one, talking about the sun intermingling with the crucible here. Let's see. 4, 5. Yes. 9 indeed. There's something divine at play there. There's a lot of emphasis here in this cave that is going on. Yet again, 6, signaling humanity. Able to turn in time. But that is my mistake. I should have backed up further. Should have rolled out of the way when it was necessary. Perhaps my reflexes are dulled a little bit by the thoughts of these. Such sympathies can sometimes get you killed. Four, five, six. There are also... So, there are 6 candles signaling humanity. And then there are 3 misbegotten, signaling divinity, because 6 plus 3 is 9. Then there is the corpse down there, which adds another 10, suggesting that there is some sort of sun realm origin and an association with the crucible going on. So it seems... Oh dear. We don't even know what the sun realm actually is, do we? I'll have to find a way to clear that up, to make it very easily understandable. Or at the very least, to give proper grist for the mill, to make it possible for us to understand these things in a more clear fashion once we've left this place of higher resolution, so to speak. We'll have to find out what's on that corpse. But what it's looking like so far is that these misbegotten here have an origin connected to that sun realm, whatever it is, and the crucible. Or to something else linked with the sun, to helium. Perhaps a phoenix. Yes, that makes much more sense. A phoenix, the crucible, and these misbegotten remain human despite their abnormalities. What will be in that carcass? Golden Rune 2. So, that invokes 11 as well. And 11... Oh, what was it? 11 is related to sodium, which means sacred rites and preservation. There's some sort of preservation being associated with things here. What could that be? Let's see. Preservation of legacy for Castle Morne, perhaps? No. Another candle down there, which I don't think we could have seen before. But 4 is death. Do you have a hidden 5th? These miners can be distracting, though. So, let's see. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. You know, actually, now that I think of it, the sodium which is associated with these here could simply mean that they're salty, angry about what's going on to them. I don't know. It's a difficult thing to read here. It's a situation where it's hard to focus with all these things banging around, but that at least seems like it's a reasonable enough possibility. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have... Okay. Since you have glowing miners, you have 6 flames, and 5 of those are in the form of candles. That's intelligence for them. You have 1 bonfire, that's the soul. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is water, is spirit, is soul. 2 individuals there, that's helium, is something related to the sun. You have a corpse as the final one, which has some sort of item that we can't quite tell as of now. So 6 is humanity. These miners have intelligence, they have humanity, and there is a 9th, meaning there's some sort of divinity which is being described here. What possibly could it be? This Morne tunnel, this place associated with and almost obsessed with divinity. There's also this stone here, which may need to be added to the equation afterwards. Right now, it's only bringing it up to 10, which is the combination of helium and oxygen. Okay. Now, how many are here? Smithing stone 1, 1. What's in the corpse? Staunching boluses 1. Staunching boluses. Blood, I see. So there's some sort of divinity about blood. Blood is what brings us anger. There's a righteous fury, a divine avenger, or something along those lines that's being described here. Oh, I see. I see. Very interesting. Let us go then, deeper into the mine. 4. Death lies ahead. They've made it very hard to actually get the ability to see all 5 of these flames here, so 4 might actually be the intention, rather than trying to make it 5. Okay, this is interesting. From this angle, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yet again, we can see 9 flames here. 1 from the bonfire, 2 from the candles which are near my sword, 1 from the lantern up above to the left of the staircase. Then there's a candle to the right. Then 2 candles in between the first 2 pillars of support here. You have another one down below that's flickering on the right between 3 pillars, essentially, visibly. And then another one on the far right. So that's a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divinity is being reiterated again and again and again. Wait a minute. No. That's actually, there are actually 10, because there's another candle in the middle there. So you have 4 on the left. You have 2 in the middle. You have 3 in the sort of middle right, and then you have another one on the far right. So that's 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So what we end up with is Crucible and the Sun being associated with one another. And that is being emphasized now to a degree which is similar to Divinity. Very interesting. Anyway. Anyway, this is a very difficult area to analyze while there's a lot of enemy activity over here, smashing everything. Ah! 3 misbegottens that are acting as if they're actually miners, but they're attacking a corpse instead. Very interesting business. And then 2 miners here and a 3rd one over there. 6, that's still humanity in the form of carbon. Oh, there's another misbegotten over there. And that looks like another one. That makes things difficult. It's 2, 3 miners. Can't tell if there's another one over there, but there is at least 8 enemies in this area. It was right of me to say there would be death ahead, and there is a lot of crucible-y nonsense going on. Oh, difficult business. Okay, just to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it was, in fact, 8 enemies. So, that's curious. The miners are also being linked to the crucible here. Whatever that should actually mean. I guess this... Let's see. The miners are being affected somehow by some sort of stony transformation. So I guess you could say that's sort of linking their life, their physiology with stone in the same way these guys have it with animals, but that seems rather strange. And this person is dead. Let's see. Soft cotton. Not sure what to make of that. I know it's from roa fruit. Let's see. Four, 7, 10. One of 1. 2 of 1. Somber smithing stone 1. And another 1. And another 1. So, that's 5 total, 1 of which is a mimic stone. Which is to say, a stone which takes on a similar color to a larval tear, a creature of mimicry. Ah, here it is. Larval tear. As much a substance as a living organism. It's worth noting, as we previously established, there is a sort of golden amber which is associated with the stars, which seems to have crashed onto the planet and become the Erd tree via meteor shower. At the very least, that seems to be the implications of what we were talking with Sullen about. Meteors seem to have a sort of golden characteristic to them, but somber smithing stones are silvery rather than gold. If we take gold as to be full of life, and look at the opposite, the somber smithing stones, they are drained of color. They can strengthen things that the normal smithing stones cannot. However, They are like the silver tear's core, more akin to a material, a substance, than a living organism. This has life, this does not. This is a deathly stone, which I suppose is why it is called somber. But we got 4, or death, shit, of the normal smithing stones here. And with the somber one, it actually is complete. It forms 5 intelligence. And that is a very curious situation. What is death bringing to the table here? And what were you holding on to? One who was chopped and seems to be quite charred by those misbegotten. Ah, arteria leaf. 3 misbegotten surrounding 2 arteria leaf. That also equals 5 or completion. So, the misbegotten are associated with, and perhaps obsessed with blood. It runs hot in their veins. They are fueling their own anger, and the crucible in their blood causes them to have all sorts of animal parts bursting out of them, despite the fact that they are in fact human. A very curious situation. And I think we already looked in here. Yes. Soft cotton. Oh, that's a red plant that has been turned into a fluffy white. That also, I suppose, is drained of its color. Primordial gold was red, so it's also talking about gold being reduced to white. Red is the color of homeward yearning, but it is also the color of the Erd tree in its youth, if primordial matter is to be believed. So, let's see here. Drained of gold, we have a silver individual. There's blood, it's associated with 5, intelligence, completion, and the misbegotten being fired up as a result. All of this we learn in Morne Tunnel. We see death and perhaps necromancy on the mind as we continue on to here. Immediately we see death brought to mind again, with 2 different types of flames. 2 of the candle, 2 of the lantern. And if we look very carefully, there's actually a bonfire hidden beyond there. And another one. So, there's a secret humanity hidden behind the door. And actually no. It's a struggle of the crucible to be found and understood through going through there. And to be understood, to be associated with somber smithing stones. That is, gold drained of its color. And together they form 9. They speak to divinity. What will we find in here? We find an axe-wielding, scaly misbegotten. A leader for the misbegotten. A hero, perhaps. One who's larger, more robust, more physically capable, and yet still capable of being broken down. We find this misbegotten is possessed of a rusty anchor. Rust is associated with iron. Iron with blood. It has 4 prongs associated with death, and yet it has fleur-de-lis on its crossguard. Together, these form 3 plus 3 equals 6. We see carbon here. Carbon, once again, is significant insofar as it signals humanity. Up the length, we see there is a spiral. And if we equip it, but it won't allow us to actually use it. What the heck? Oh, unfortunate. I can't even wear it with 2 hands. But regardless, let's see what we can see. 4 associated with death. Iron is associated with rust. Rust has encased this thing that is a sort of devouring, poisonous type of... Oh, what's it called? Oh, I see. It's a rusted anchor. An iron weapon bound with humanity. The 6 prongs on the crossguard, combined with the 4 on the head. Oh. You end up with 10. The sun and the crucible. The iron is rusted and brought to death by its humanity, and the spiral is bringing it elsewhere. Down from the death, towards some sort of ring in the pommel, and if you flip it around, you see a cross. It almost looks like a head, with arms stretched out wide on either side. Or, if you really look at it very carefully, you might see roots at the bottom, and a tree, which is coming out on top, assuming you flipped it around. Oh, and I suppose when your life is flipped around by death, you often will end up with some strange and unexpected things. But if this is a tree, we have to consider the fact that that spiral around its central shaft just might be a vine as well. Well, very curious. When the Tarnished left the lands between with their lord, one boat alone was said to have been left behind. Tarnishing for iron is in fact rusting. Humanity transforms it from a sort of divine state, the state of what was about to become a red giant due to its fusion going out of control, and it turns it into a rusty mass that is just weight and a loss of edge. And yet it claims that when this rusty anchor is wielded as a weapon, each of its 4 flukes is thick and sharp still, enabling piercing attacks. I suppose it still wants to be able to do a little bit of biting. Reminds a bit of those old fangs with the multiple canines coming out of the same root. And we find it resting upon this meteor. I wonder what's directly above the meteor. After all, we can tell this is an impact site. but simply fused and healed up. And let's look on the inside as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fires and a central glowing rock. A rock of divinity, you might say, which fell from the heavens, and I am going to predict right above here, we're gonna find an erd tree. Because I remember looking, actually, and seeing that there was an erd tree in these lands, and I am almost completely certain it is right here, above Morne Tunnel. And that is an interesting situation. I won't use that to simply go back. I'll see about finding my way back otherwise. Oh, yes. 8 spokes. 8 surrounding a central disc. That is divinity once again. 8 equals the crucible. Oxygen. But also, as this black disc signifies, it's talking about the karmic cycle, evoking a certain black goddess. But I don't know how I should know about that. Maybe I shouldn't think about it too hard. Let's see. We've gone through all this area already. Which means it should be this way that is left over. That one's taken. Yes. 4. That warns me that there is death up ahead. And the intelligent observer notes once again there's a signal for humanity. And there's 2 miners on break, and a 3rd one there. Yep. Just humans here. Oh dear. I forgot that those could be killed so easily. Oh. Somber smithing stone hidden behind all of these, as well as another candle. I'll have to keep this in mind. Okay. Is interesting. Oh dear. No! Well, if that isn't the face of a human, I don't know what is. Killed by my own hubris. Goodness, that is a good death trap, though. Well, it seems the souls of this place, the misbegotten therein, have been allowed to go free, undisturbed by the refinement that Melna offers. And finally, I get back my pittance from before. That's the way to the boss room. Yes, yes, yes. Always seems as if it's been coated in blood, this set of scales. Sorry there. So let's properly look at things. 1, 2, 3. Consider that later. 4, 5, 6. I believe. Oh. Room. This man stares over this corpse, almost as if he were guilty about them. What does this corpse happen to have? Large glintstone scrap. Curious. Glintstone in this sort of place. I think that miner might have been jealous of his comrade, who found something very rare and murdered them over it. So let's see, though. 1 miner, 3 sacks, 1 fire, 1 dead man, but the dead man has 2. So 2, 3, 6, 7. No life. No life indeed. Awkward. Let's see, we'll assume that we count all of the fire within this general area. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yet again, we have divinity being evoked. We have 3 miners. Miners are being associated with necromancy. I'm guessing it's actually not that, though. It's 3 equals lithium equals they have rocks stuck to their body, and it feels horrible. What does this person have? Golden Rune 4. Let's see. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is intelligence. Golden Rune equals the Elden Ring. 5 associated with the Elden Ring. And what's in this chest? Exalted Flesh. That's 6. That's associated with humanity, but they are being exalted beyond the human, perhaps. Oh yes, and 3 barrels, you could say. There's some more divinity on top. And I think that's about it. This probably concludes this dungeon. It's a very strange and seemingly out of context area. Or rather, more accurately, we don't presently have the context to properly interpret it. But I think, at the very least, it should become more clear as we continue on. And we will see just who it is themed after. Someone associated with blood and crucible and misbegotten, perhaps. Maybe even the Erd Tree and meteors. And intelligence and the number 5. I wonder who that could be. Who is related to the Phoenix, perhaps. And Morne. And Morne. I wonder who fulfills all of these traits. What one person could it be? We exit now. See the world lit up by that Erd Tree yonder. That's in this direction. That's the real Erd Tree. But if we are very careful, if we turn around, we might just... No, we probably can't see it from this angle. Somewhere over there, there's an actual Erd Tree. There are bats associated with this place. And the black stone culture, the one that is associated with the stone golems that appear like fire giants. Fire giants, the ruins of black stone, the bats, who the bats are related to. I wonder if those could be related to Morne, and this tunnel, and the Erd Tree, and maybe even Miranda flowers. 3 Miranda flowers, all brewing the same poison, as if all part of the same body. Ah, but 2 of them are connected here. One of them is broken off. Curious, curious. At the very least, that's the sort of picture it's evoking. Let's see. Oops. 3 bats, just like the apparent 3 pillars that we could see. And how many of the flowers beyond the big ones are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it would appear. 10 little flowers in addition. Oh! A 4th one. That's unusual. 4 doesn't seem quite right. But oh well. So, at this point, we're over the bridge. We can continue this way to get to that tree. That's the Erd Tree I was talking about, which should be growing out of the meteor. And we can know this because of the fact that the Morne tunnel is right over there, the Erd Tree is right there. go into the Morne tunnel, you head in the direction of the meteor and the Earth tree. And we could curl around, go that way, and then up there and meet the Earth tree. But no, I think we'll actually want to put this on pause. Sorry, friend. Almost got me that time. Do. I really actually should be just fast traveling. We want to go here. See, there's something that has occurred to me since I've gotten the Shield of the Guilty. This clever little person, this silvery-coated man, he seems to know about something very interesting. This Shield of the Guilty. See, this shield talks about a maiden being reborn in these lands. And this man, see,
Trade again?
he is trading shields. And this shield features briars, thorns that should poke out the eyes. And this one adds up to vanadium. Vanadium is associated with Queen Merica, and through that, we can understand some very interesting things. We can begin to see, through this atomic analysis, Queen Merica is associated with this revival from round shield to round shield. No longer getting the red and the thorns necessarily. Cleansed, perhaps, of that bloody past. But now, in a different sort of life. There, I am sure, are still many details with regards to that, which we cannot fully understand. The nickel which we found in particular being evoked by that shield is something that we have no particular reference for outside of Mr. Calle the Christmas Man. But we're beginning to understand a little bit more. We see the resurrection is a resurrection in divinity of Queen Merica. That she came from a position of being some sort of minor figure in this minor land, or some sort of minor land which this represents, to being a big shot, a goddess in truth, up here in the lands between. From the small to the large, the microcosm to the macrocosm. Revival in the lands between. Silver coated in gold. Now, since we're back here, we can say that we'll at least hold off a little while before we go across that bridge again to see what's actually there. But before we actually go that way, I'm sure that there are other routes which might be interesting to explore. So, firstly, let's go over here. Let's see what's this way. That's a castle, that's probably Castle Morne. I'm not sure we actually want to go there, but what we can see is this. A map marker. Oh my goodness! We're being shot at. That is not great, we don't want that. So, We'll wait until later when we might be able to go around an easier way, where we won't be shot. Maybe if we go that way. But before then, since we want to explore as much as we can before we get to the Castle Morne, let's climb up this tombstone-laden cliff. I don't know why tombstones would be built into the side. Maybe this is a place of mourning. Ah ha ha ha. But let's find out what this place up here happens to have in store for us. First off, it's worth noting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have tested it 3 times, and we know for sure this is an octagonal area. This is associated with the Crucible. And yet, we are left to wonder why that would be. We see some sort of measuring device. Calipers, I think. No, are those calipers? That's... whatever. These 2 devices are devices for measuring things and prying them apart, holding them. That is a trumpet. That's a knife. That's probably a fork. We see multiple shields here. Multiple spears and swords, which are, for some reason, eaten away. Eaten away by some substance, some force. Corroding them like oxygen on iron. Maybe that's the theme that's going on here. This battle axe isn't corroded, though. Neither are these S-stocks. Two, 3. Well, 6, that adds up to humanity. That's not quite what we're seeing as corroding us. Oh well. Let's not get too terribly distracted here. Crucible associated with something that is doing some corroding, and spears and swords. We'll find out what these are associated with later on, I'm sure. Maybe when we find actual soldiers using these. But who's this? What does he have? There are supplies here. Old supplies scattered about, I'm sure. Great turtle shell. That I might just replace my rift shield with for a little while. Oh, but I cannot. It would make things too heavy. Regardless, shield fashioned from a great turtle shell. Natural curve, helping to contend with foes' attacks. The turtle is the symbol of tirelessness, unlimited power. And this shield boosts stamina recovery. Barricade shield, skill made famous by Sir Needhart. Focus your energy into the shield, temporarily hardening it to deflect greater blows. Now this is interesting, because through this, we can understand a very curious association. Sir Needhart was associated with that very Ash of War earlier, but not the same shield. Instead of a turtle, we saw a dragon. This dragon is wielding a sword, and that is a kite shield on there. The type of shield is a kite shield. I'm not sure what the name of the specific shield it itself is. Regardless, deflection of greater blows is enabled by the symbol of defense, which is the dragon. That symbol of defense is also being associated with this shield, the symbol of tirelessness, the turtle. And turtles are also symbols of wisdom. So you have wisdom, defense, and tirelessness all being associated with this Sir Needhart, whoever that is, who is associated also with this shield pictured here. Now, this person died with the shield of Sir Needhart. This person had a turtle's shield in their hold. I am not sure if that's actually the shield that Sir Needhart wielded personally, and if therefore this is Sir Needhart. But you know what's interesting? Uncompromising defense presents a barrier to allow no one to get through. This place seems to have been completely unable to be breached. There are makeshift reinforcements that had to be put up here. There are barricades that had to be placed around the damage that was made to it. Like a barricade shield in a macrocosmic level. But this place wasn't actually breached. I think this person had perfect defenses but died of starvation. A true irony. Defense enough to survive anything, but not able to actually attack and defeat the siegers. Oh, and a warming stone, a symbol of the sun, associated with Sir Needhart as well. And the sun here is being associated, quite interestingly, with death. Or I should say, these defenders of the sun died. Perhaps that might be reflective of some sort of grander scale issue. Of the sun somehow... Oh, that's what you would call it. Setting. The sun setting on some sort of greater defensive group. Some sort of siege that was being implemented. Some sort of defense that ended in the failure of all of the defenders to survive somehow. Maybe they were starved out, as is often the case in sieges. Or this warming stone associated with ruin fragments, because of the fact that it looks like a ruin fragment that has simply been made more golden, and it's blessed with an incantation of the two fingers. Maybe this is associated with that ruin in the sky, that sky temple. So maybe this place is saying that ruin in the sky is associated with the sun. It's hanging in the air like a sun, so I suppose that makes some degree of sense. And they are defeated in some sort of siege. I'm not sure how you would defeat a floating fortress in a siege, but it's crumbling from time immemorial, I think, the ruin fragments suggested. Let's see if we can't find them to verify. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Sanctuary stones are of the same sort, rare piece of stone fragments found near places where ruins have fallen from the sky. No. Budding horn. Perhaps it's a vestige of the primordial crucible. I don't remember where I got that, but that's more crucible stuff that we found. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ruin fragments, there. Stone fragments found near places where ruins have fallen from the sky. These shards of stone are believed to have once been part of a temple in the sky, and they glow with a faint light from within. Faint light. As if the sun is not putting out any heat anymore. as if there's something greater that is shining down instead. There's a conspicuous lack of the sun in the sky at any given moment, or at the very least, so it seems. I wonder if that has some sort of historical significance. Turtles, symbols of defense, dragons, a fortress here. Sir Needhart. And a tower in the distance that we may explore sometime soon. But like these defenders of the siege, before then I must fall down into a slumber most profound. One which edges upon, or perhaps even reaches the point of death. Ooh, that's interesting. Dark blue, silver, red, and gloam. I never noticed this tassel coming down. And maybe even helixes of gold up above. Well, that's an interesting thing to find on this scale armor. Might have to think that through. Regardless, unto death, onward we stride.